And today we're live with Alex Barreras, streaming from Miami, Florida, and we're going to be talking about a very important subject, I think, or at least something that we're passionate about. Alex, welcome to Gaston Shutters, and glad to actually do a live with you tonight. Yeah, this is going to be our first live,
which is crazy because we've known each other for 2 years.
Yeah, we've
never done a video, so this is our first video together, actually.
Yeah, usually when we meet is either to shoot photos or to eat.
Yeah,
right.
And I mean, we've hung out quite a bit too, so like it's surprising, but it's our first video, and I think we're going to be maybe talking about something controversial, maybe.
Okay, so this one is going to be a no fanboy. You know, we both have our preferences, but we're just going to speak the truth, right? Because this channel is all about just giving you guys our point of view on things. And we're going to be talking about the Leica SL3. We're going to have to cover his eye. There you go. For focus, SL3 versus Alex's own Sony A7CR. No, you got to cover my eyes.
Got to cover our face.
I think we could actually deactivate eye out of focus. But anyway, actually, let me deactivate out of focus. This is live, as you can see. Very, very much live. Let me just deactivate it so it's easier on you guys. Oh, I don't have the function there. Okay, that's it, fine. Well, we're gonna deal with this. But I also have my own, as you can see right here. This is my Sony A7CR. I actually like this camera a lot. It's, you know, I have my own opinion about the Sony A7CR, and I also have my own opinion about my Leica SL3. Alex had it, and he also shoots Leica. And I've been shooting with this one for quite some time, the SL3. Before that one, the SL3S. And I even tried the SL2, which did not convince me. So where should we start?
I mean, I think we should start with similarities. Like, why are we even doing this? And I think the reality is both use the same 61 megapixel sensor. They both have very similar specs, but they both take very different approaches to the user experience.
I mean, you nailed it right there, because one is focus on photo, and I think that video is kind of like an afterthought. That would be the Leica, of course. And I think that the Sony kind of like delivers on both departments fairly even, you know, if you ask me. So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the Sony is like the ultimate hybrid, and they also take different form factor approaches. I think the Sony takes more of the rangefinder approach with the smaller body, rangefinder design, and the Leica SL takes more of a almost professional camera approach where it's built like a tank.
DSLR, you know.
It's weather sealed. I mean, we've seen people obviously take the SL series to the Arctic, to the desert. This camera is built to survive anything.
Yep.
And it feels
built like a tank.
Yeah, you feel it.
Built like a tank. So why don't we start about sensor, and let's get that out of the way, because I think that's gonna be like kind of like the main thing that we should actually talk about, give our personal take on it. And I actually have done comparing both cameras. Actually, the same lens I have, it's right there. Give it to me.
Yeah, you saw.
So this one is the Leica version of the 35 f2 DGDN Sigma lens, and here's the same one, but the Sony version. I'm not gonna bore you with photos or anything, just take my word for it, it's just the same image. I don't see a difference. It may be a slight difference in color because both cameras kind of like render color differently. I actually like the color on the SL3, hands down, when it comes to that.
Well, and I think like it's important we address this too. I think out of the box, the SL has nicer colors.
Right out of the gate, even for video.
But if you shoot raw, you can get them to look identical. Because I've done this test myself, and it is the exact same image quality if you shoot raw.
Yeah.
Now the Sony might take an extra slider or two.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you get the same result if you really want it.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I had a conversion in Lightroom to kind of like convert from Sony to this color. I really like the blues in the sky that the SL3 and the Q3 actually renders, you know, talking about natural color. And I gotta be honest, you know, I don't really like natural colors. You know, I either shoot black and white or convert to black and white, and then I like to have my own color. So to me, like color science, you know, it's a debate that it has no point for me, because ultimately I'm gonna manipulate the photo and the tones and just kind of like have my own signature when it comes to that. But have you actually noticed a difference, because you had them both and you are more hardcore than me testing when it comes to that. Have you noticed any difference I haven't,
Yeah.
but have you?
No, I mean, from an image quality perspective, they are identical. And I think here's where the no BS side of things, and yeah, let's pop in the chat real quick.
Let me click on the thing. Sorry guys, because I know you're gonna be asking questions. And by the way, this is our first live. It is my, there we go. It is my camera fusion. What's up, Tony and Darren Lingerfeld? Murder your license. Saludos from Charlotte. Hola, amigos.
No, yeah, so what I was going to say is, it was image quality, right?
Image quality. Have you noticed anything like different?
No, yeah, here we go. So I think, look, this is raw and unfiltered, and I'm not going to sugarcoat things. So the image quality, like I said, if you try, they will look identical. And here's my first controversial take. You ready?
Go for it, man.
I have tested M lenses on both the SL and the Sony, and they look the same. There is this thing online where people say that M lenses don't look as good on other cameras, or that the Leica has micro lenses on the sensor. I don't see it.
You just got an Apple 50 millimeter here on the Sony A7CR, yeah.
And I actually was going to make this video on my channel here in a few weeks. I have a ton of test images I've taken with a M body and SL and the A7CR with M lenses, and the image quality is the same. I tested at 28, 35, and 50, so I didn't go wider than a 28, but couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, no, again, so I think that debunks the sensor kind of like conversation, at least for myself and Alex, that is way more analytical when it comes to those tests. And yeah, you know, definitely the SL3 has the same sensor, and the camera perform almost the same when it comes to, you know, taking a photo and all that stuff. Okay, out with that conversation. Now, let's talk about the shooting experience of both cameras.
And we have to talk about that, because I think this actually reminds me of the film days. Because if you think about it, in the film days, your film stock was your color science.
Correct.
Which meant every camera had
and the white balance,
the same
selection.
color science, right?
Yeah.
So like you can shoot with a Canon and a Leica and get the same look. But people still shot with a Leica for one reason.
Yeah. Which one?
The user experience.
Simple.
So when you look at this camera, whether you're on the Sony camp or the Leica camp, you can say from the Sony camp, okay, the Sony's better, it's cheaper, same look. With Leica, you can say Leica's better, it's more expensive. At the end of the day, it's about user experience, just like in the film days.
Yep.
So you are actually a maniac in the streets. You shoot for 8 to 10 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Why do you like the user experience on the SL3?
Okay, so in my opinion, it's because I own a lot of Leica glass, as you see right there. And I like to shoot, I mean, believe it or not, I like to shoot the SL3 with manual lenses more than I like to shoot it with Leica lenses. I'm sorry, autofocus lenses, but in certain situations. Because what I do more is kind of like my fun photography, which happens to be travel and street photography. You know, I like to shoot manual lenses because I rarely focus, especially for street. You know, I'm always at f11, zone focus. But I do also, you know, like to do a lot of street portraits. And I like to shoot with fast Leica glass or some of the Nikkor Canon lenses that I also like here. And when you pop a Leica lens here, you get the metadata, you know, if you have the 6-bit coding. I like that, you know, for the channel, if I review the lens. There are a lot of reasons why, but also I like the fact that this camera to me feels a little more comfortable. Yeah. When I hold it and I, you know, grip it, it just feels solid, right? And that's one thing. Now, I also own a few autofocus lenses, not that many. So I have the 35, the 50, the 24, and then I have the 28 to 70, and then I have the 35. That's it. And I have the 90 Apple. But that's pretty much it. And I use those lenses mainly either at the studio. We were doing some photo shoot for Owl Crown. You know, I was with a 90 Apple. Really love that lens. Really love the camera. I didn't complain about a single thing. But for me, it's more about being able to use M lenses and the fact that it's native. And I think that, I don't know, I just like it. Now, you have shot with Leica glass. And I have done it, but I haven't done comparison. But you have shot with Leica glass, and you have a video coming up. Do you notice any difference shooting it on the SL3 versus the Sony A7CR?
No, I mean, I think like the reality is, and again, in my tests, the Leica adapter with the Leica lens communicates with the Leica camera, and there is some corrections happening digitally. And I noticed that because when I was matching the Sony and the Leica, I had to apply some digital corrections to get them to look the same.
Yeah.
Now it's just all in the vignetting.
Correct.
But sharpness, color, the pop, it was all the same. I will say.
Probably the noise too, because Sony, it's known for applying denoising in low light, you know?
Yeah, and
probably.
And I think, you know, I'm reading in the comments, some people have said that, you know, like the M body might look different because of thinner sensor stack or whatever reasons or theories. There's one thing we haven't talked about, because both of these cameras have autofocus. They have the autofocus sensors over the sensor.
Okay.
And M body doesn't. So for that reason alone, that's why Leica has never said the SL and the M11 share the same sensor. They always say they share a similar sensor. The M bodies don't have autofocus. Correct. So you're removing that PDAF filter over the sensor. Okay. So theoretically, it should be a slightly cleaner image.
I see, for example, I didn't know that there was something in front of the sensor for the
it's the sensor reading the autofocus, yeah.
Oh, okay. The points, right?
But, you know, going back onto this before I nerd out.
I told you, he just goes bananas with this, but that's why we're here.
The reason why I like the Sony better is because of the adaptability. So you can use an autofocus adapter with the Sony.
Oh, you use that?
Yeah, and use autofocus with M lenses. And for me, it combines the best of both worlds. Leica glass, autofocus, it makes me happy. And you can't do that with the SL. So I'm not going to argue with you. The grip is better on the SL. I think the camera just feels extremely nice in the hand. One of the best grips I've felt. But I love autofocus. And the fact that I can use autofocus with M lenses on a Sony body makes it an easier choice for me to pick up a Sony every single time.
All right. I have another one, why I prefer the SL3 versus the Sony. This EVF is magnificent. I don't know. I think it's 5.7 million dots of resolution, but it's so immersive. Like, I'm inside and it seems like I'm in this big, you know, screen, whereas here, you know, still like this tiny little thing. Can I get inside a little bit more? Yeah. So when it comes to the EVF, obviously the quality on the Sony A7CR, you know, you probably know the megapixels of this one.
I think it's like 3 million versus 5.76. So like the Leica is like about double.
And also when it comes to optics of the EVF, this is much better. I don't see pixels where here I can see a little bit of the, you know, kind of like, a little bit of the pixelation, I guess, pixel pitch on the thing. Once again, you know, you are going to use the EVF to frame, but I just love the experience on this one. And also comfort. When you're shooting for many, many hours, this one doesn't have any padding here. It's just a piece of rubber, very hard, whereas this one is actually dampened, right? It's squishy. And if you're going to be going and going and going and going and going and bumping your eyebrow, I mean, this one feels a lot better. Also, when it comes to the way I operate the camera and configure the camera, with these 4 fingers, I can control the entire camera, and the thumb. I can control the Leica SL3. The buttons are placed ergonomically, whereas Sony, they were scattered everywhere. Look at this. It's like got one here, one here, one here, one here. Like, it's just they're all over the place. Whereas Leica, if you think about this, look at this. So I'm going to try to focus and cover your eye there.
Cover my face.
So this one right here, I have it configured for the punch-in magnification. This one down here, no, that's fine because now I'm speaking on my eye. This one at the bottom to center the focus. If I move the focus, it's center. So with these two, I basically control the focusing point. Then this one, of course, is the shutter. Now this one right here, I have it for video, just to switch from video and photo. And then with the thumb, you just roll into the main options. Whereas with the Sony, first of all, some buttons, you cannot feel them. And I have to look for it. Is that the function? Oh yeah, it's the function, but they're too cramped together, right? And they're round. And I just say that, they're round. I think the fact that some are square, you get a better tactile feedback of, you know, which button it is. So when it comes to the usability and kind of like connecting the photographer with the camera, Leica has done a way better job than Sony, in my opinion.
No, absolutely. I think from an ergonomics perspective, I think to touch on this, because I'm going to counter argue this, and it's unfortunate because everything you said about the EVF is correct. This is one of the best EVFs in the market.
Not an A1, but
Well, the A1 has
A7.
9 million megapixels, but this still feels immersive.
oh yeah,
But this viewfinder has one fatal flaw, and I don't understand why it happens. So the A7CR.
here we go going to jail.
I'm gonna go like a gel for this one. The A7CR has half the resolution of the SL, and it definitely is not as clear when you put your eye in it. But with the SL, when you punch in to acquire focus, when you zoom in, the viewfinder loses resolution. This is an issue with the SL3 and SL3S. It didn't happen with the SL2 or SL2.
SL2 doesn't have that problem. And someone said, because I was actually mentioning this about in prior live, and someone said it's because of pixel pitch. But then the Sony doesn't do it, right?
So even though the Sony
and it has the worst EVF, so you know you should see that problem more. In my opinion, I think that Leica could fix it via firmware. I don't know what limits that pixelation.
I'm hoping because
the last point of magnification.
A7CR has a lower resolution EVF, but I find it easier to magnify and focus because it doesn't lose resolution. So you can tell when you're in focus. Versus with the SL3, it's a little fuzzy, even though the viewfinder is better and just it makes no sense. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to apologize for my hand motion during live. Someone commented about that, so I'm gonna try to keep my hands down from now on. Sorry about that. Look at my hands. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, so that needs to be fixed. Sorry, Leica, you gotta fix that ASAP. It bothers a lot of us, and I think that's my only complaint about the EVF, right? When you magnify, which is one of the reasons why I like shooting M glass with this, because I like to refine that focus. And when you're, trying to focus on an eyelash, trust me, that thing is actually really important because you don't know if you're in focus or if it's almost in focus. Very important, and it would be nice if someone at Leica would actually answer why it's like that.
And it's not just the EVF; it also happens on the back screen. So it's just if you punch it in the back screen, it's the same thing where it doesn't have the clarity. Because watch, you're gonna get focus here.
Let me see.
And take a picture, and then look at the final result.
I don't see it on the screen.
Watch, take a picture, and then look at the picture. You're gonna see how much sharper it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, significantly sharper.
Well, I believe that what you see on the screen is it's kind of like a JPEG or a low resolution version of the live view.
It doesn't happen on the Sony.
Oh, really?
I mean,
let's see. I mean, this is live. That's why we're doing this thing live. We're gonna debunk ourselves. All right, so play.
Look how sharp that is. That's insane. Yeah.
I'm actually out of focus, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm out of focus.
So you punch in with this one right here.
There you go. Let's see. Wow, Sony, my shot was out of focus. There you go. That's actually really focused.
That's really sharp.
Let's see with this one. I go there, magnify with that button, and I am in focus.
Looks the same.
Hell yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I wear contacts and I don't have them right now. That may explain why, but yeah, so agree with him that low resolution, it doesn't, refrain me from taking photos and choose Leica over the Sony for photos. But I gotta say something. Maybe I'm gonna say this for the end. Just if I would have to pick a camera, remind me of that one.
Let me add one more thing about the ergonomics and user experience. The screen on the SL3 is awesome. It's a photographer screen. I hate this vlogging screen. It is
kind of like it, bro.
I hate it because when I'm framing something and I'm framing it to the side, my composition suffers. So I like that the screen and the Leica is for photography, not for video. And also this hinge, the build quality is one of the sturdiest hinges I felt in any camera. So going back to build quality, not only do I like this design better, but this hinge just feels robust. It feels like it can't break. And that's a huge con to the SL, and again, the user experience.
But it's all good until you do this. Now, once you do this, you cannot tilt it forward, and the Sony just became a better camera, instantly by turning the camera 90 degrees. And let me tell you, This thing is so awesome to get the shot, you know, if you're aiming really, really low. I wish I have the screen on this one. And I hope the SL4 is gonna do it, because I don't think I'm gonna upgrade to an SL4 if it doesn't have that screen.
Hold on, time out. So we're getting some comments about the audio. It's cutting out for some people. I guess, how do we sound right now? Mic test, mic test.
Oh, there you go. I think mine was off. We're gonna check the audio right now.
This is a live problem.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. There you go. Now we're live. I just pressed the button. Hey, live things happen, guys. So sorry. So probably you were listening to me through, his microphone. Anyway, so if anyone wants us to repeat every audio's all good. Okay. All right. I mean, it's live. What can we do?
It happens.
But that's the only way you can get us together live. So, okay, screen. You like the SL3? I agree. It's beautiful. But if Leica would put this screen on the SL3, I'll take it, man.
Oh man, I would hate it.
I'll take it. I'll take it because
they should put the new screen Sony has, the 4-way screen.
Yeah.
That screen is
that is the one.
Yeah.
I think that should be the one on the SL4
Yeah.
when the camera comes out, because we're not talking about a $3,000 camera. We're talking about an $8,000 camera, right? So this camera should have everything. All right, so we're done with the screen. Let's move forward with dial and ergonomics. You know, I mentioned briefly. What's your experience when it comes to the buttons and all that stuff?
You know, just like it's funny because like I feel like I don't get enough practice with manual focus lenses,
Yes.
so I struggle.
Correct.
I've been using Sony now, I mean, professionally and as my hobby for over 5 years. So the buttons, the menus, I know them like the back of my hand. So I have it customized in a way where I just know how to use this camera. I don't even have to look at the buttons.
Yep.
And I have all my Sonys configured the same way, which is also another cool thing. So like my A7CR, my A1 II, they're all configured the same way, so the buttons are the same. Menu's the same.
It's great.
So kind of like you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with Sony. So like that argument is more of a user preference. For people that say Sony's confusing, again, you can customize every single button on the Sony. You can change almost any feature, and it's super easy.
Yeah, so I've been shooting Sony for about 15 years, and I still cannot get used to, you know, the menu keeps getting bigger and bigger.
It's a huge menu, that's for sure.
I mean, the menu keeps getting bigger and bigger. But I much love the new menu with a nested page and, you know, the touchscreen functionality, something that they introduced, I believe, with the Sony A7S3. But yeah, I mean, honestly, when it comes to dials and everything, I prefer the Leica way. Also, when I used to shoot Sony, I thought I needed a front dial for the aperture. Until you start shooting Leica glass, I mean, the aperture is in the ring, and also Sigma. Now, it's funny because the L line of lenses, I don't think that there is any of them with an aperture ring. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, Leica does not make them that way.
The L, and I think that they should actually design all the Leica lenses like Sigma does. Aperture ring here, you know.
You know, I call these the Sigmacrons.
Sigmacrons, yeah, of course.
Because like they are like an autofocus Summicron.
Yeah.
They're built great, metal aperture ring. They're sharp. They're compact. These lenses with the SL are magic. I love them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and for that reason alone, I think that Sigma has done a better job with the line of lenses. They're smaller, they're lighter, they're great image quality, and they're cheaper. Okay, go for it.
I want to talk about one thing that I'm seeing in the comments, and there's one thing that I think, surprisingly, I think makes Leica superior than the Sony in a lot of ways.
She's laughing at Sigmacrons.
Sigmacrons, yeah, I love it. All right, y'all ready for this? The Leica Photos app is the best app in the market for photographers. You're able to transfer a raw photo from your SL to your phone in seconds. And it works. It's connected to Lightroom, Capture One. It is one of the best experiences. And I mean, I know you use it. You're out in the street.
All the time.
You're taking pictures and it's on Instagram in a few seconds.
All the time. All the time. Indeed.
That alone, again, adding to the user experience, is incredible. Like you're able to take a raw photo, capture the moment, and have it up on social media or send it to a friend within seconds. And that app is incredible.
Yeah, I think that Sony got a little bit better with the Creators app.
Yeah.
But before, oh boy, you have to bring holy water, couple of crucifixes. Yeah, and it never connected.
No, it never did.
It never connected. So Leica, yeah, it works all the time. Now I'm gonna give you guys a tip, and this is something I discovered not too long ago. If you're adding a camera to the Leica app, and for some reason you get connection issues, at least on the iPhone, go to your Bluetooth setting and delete the camera from your listed Bluetooth devices. Because if it failed for some reason and it's listed in your recent Bluetooth devices, it will not connect. You delete it.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. And you should know that because that took me days of even formatting my phone, resetting. Oh man, I went through a day of hell. And then I read somewhere online, and all I have to do is just. But anyway, so yeah, that's right. I agree with you, man. So let's talk about now video. Let's just move on to that department that I don't want to go, but we have to go there.
Yeah, I think that's an easy one too.
We have to go there. So video. I got pretty excited with the Leica SL3 with all the videos, 8K, and the whole 9 yard. So I'm going to give you my video experience because you're more video centric in that regards with Sony. But with it better than S-Log in terms of the color. I also like just everything about it. You know, dynamic range is great. It's about the same probably. But I really like the colors from Leica and love shooting with Leica. However, there are a couple of things that annoy me so much that to choose certain codecs, I have to align certain stars. If I use the SD card and I don't have an S, or if I change a frame rate, now I cannot choose. You know what I'm talking about. If I choose the the 4K 30, then I have to choose certain other options, and if I choose this option, then disables me other. I mean, that doesn't happen with Sony.
I will say, like, I gotta commend Leica first for giving all the options. So, like, kudos.
Yeah.
But it is very confusing.
Yeah.
And very, like, it's death by paper cuts, right? You pick one setting and then you have like 10 more settings. And if you pick one, then now you have 3. And it just, it's like a puzzle trying to figure out codecs and what works and what doesn't.
I appreciate Sony that that's a little bit easier. You know, you have the full HD, then you have the compressed mode in 4K, and then you choose your frame rate, and that's it. Now here, if you choose the frame rate, then you choose certain codecs. You cannot choose specific frame rates, and if you keep changing 420, 422, then it changes a bunch of stuff. You know, it takes a while to get to know what works. So I think that Leica should list based on the card you have the options that you can use, and that's it. Don't you know? My opinion. So, and again, I think it's a little bit of kind of like homework for the next version, so they can actually fix that, because sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating, specifically for guys that are new or guys that want to take the camera seriously for video, because it produces amazing video. And overheating is not a problem with this camera. At least I've never got an overheating warning with a Leica SL3. And I also have the SL3S, which it performs slightly better, although I haven't noticed much performance improvement. But of course, 24, it's a lot easier on the processor than the 60 megapixel, although probably a down res is for 4K. I don't know about that. But I actually like the color. Now, IBIS, it's okay, and I don't think the IBIS on the Sony A7C, unless you engage in the active, but I think the Leica SL3 is pretty good. Until you start moving it up, and then it jerks kind of like too fast. So yeah, so the IBIS is another thing that either disconnect it and use a gimbal if you're gonna have some sudden motion, or put it on a tripod. But
that'd be a heavy gimbal camera. So it'd be a very heavy kit.
Yeah.
Also, one thing you have to note, because you have to know with video, is battery life. The SL3 does not have the best battery life, and with video, you're gonna run through a battery like crazy.
Yeah.
Look, there's a reason why Sony's used professionally and Sony's used in Hollywood, and almost every single content creator is using Sony to film their videos. Sony's king for video right now. That's how I feel about it, and I think just for that reason alone, like the codecs, the usability, the S-Log3, everything about video is easier on the A7CR in my opinion. And image quality, again, same thing. I think you can get very similar colors, but the autofocus on the Sony, impossible to beat. You have multiple levels of IBIS. So can you do video with the SL3? Absolutely. Do you want to do video with SL3? I don't know.
Big HDMI port. So in my opinion, I think if you're a content creator, meaning a rookie like me, not a professional videographer, yes, you're gonna hurt, you know, for videos. Specifically, if you want to shoot videos like this, the screen doesn't flip, which is, I mean, a miss in my opinion. But I think for videographers, the Leica SL3 could actually be a better camera than the Sony A7CR. And I'll tell you why. We have full-size HDMI. And if you're going to be comparing this camera to a bigger rig or a cinema camera that doesn't have IBIS to begin with, like the FX6, for example, of course, the FX6 is a way better camera. I had it. You know, yeah, you could take this camera seriously. Also, you know, most professionals will use manual lenses with a remote focus, you know, module.
It can be done.
DJI, one of those.
It can be done.
I think that for professional video, in my opinion, I think the SL3 could actually be a better video rig for manual focus, pulling focus manually. You have a full-size HDMI. You put a D-tap, you know, a battery. They're actually like a cellular battery that you can connect it to, you know, to a bigger battery. You have a proper EVF if you want to, you know, kind of like gauge your focus or exposure, whatever the case may be doing. Yeah, I see the Leica SL3 a better serious video camera in that regards. But again, I don't know. That's just my take.
We're live. We're live.
Yeah.
Can I put you on blast?
Sure. Oh shit.
I'm gonna put you on blast, and then we have to answer this question.
We have a lot of questions. So,
have you ever used the SL for any video content in your channel?
No, I never filmed. No, I never. What? Like I said, I cannot film myself, and I've done videos about the SL3. Me shooting with a camera. Actually, there's a video in the channel. No.
I think it's good. I think it's capable. I think for sure it's beyond capable. It's a great camera, but I mean, it's. I love the Leica log better than the S log. Hands down, grading and all that. This actually goes through some of the comments. We got a question right here. I'm seeing SL3S autofocus, A7CR versus SL3S autofocus.
The SL3S performs slightly better than the SL3. I personally, because I have not stressed the camera a lot, have actually noticed, you know, a massive difference. Once again, I have not stressed the camera in situations where, you know, I have certain, you know, subject moving fast and stuff like that, because I wanted to get the SL3S to film a lot of the videos at work. You know, a lot of the things that we do for our crown, and I used it and everything doable. But one of the things that actually, and I have to mention this because probably also another point to perfect it in future versions. You know, shooting in Miami, I just couldn't see good. You know, it wasn't bright enough for me doing a bright daylight. And you know what I did? I ended up buying an FX2 with a EVF that I can stick it in my eye, and man, I'm in heaven.
I will say, so I had the SL3 for when it launched, and I did several family sessions. So I'm a former wedding photographer, I'm a family photographer, and I actually used the SL3 for maybe 5 or 6 family sessions. And look, is the SL3 autofocus the fastest? No. Is it accurate? Absolutely. And I was able to do family sessions with kids running around and nail focus every single time. As a matter of fact, I did most of those sessions with the Sigma 50 1.2, shooting at 1.2, and I never felt like the SL3 let me down. Is the Sony autofocus better? Yes. Is the Sony autofocus faster? Yes. But if you're shooting portraits, if you're shooting, again, people, street, the autofocus is fine. Unless you're shooting like F1 or sports, you're gonna feel it, but the autofocus is fine, and it's, most importantly, it's accurate.
It is accurate, and that's one of the reasons why, even though it doesn't have the sudden, you know, fast blazing out of focus for horses racing in the track and football players, for my type of photography, it works. Fast. It works. It nails it. And eye autofocus works really good too on the Leica SL3. That's another thing. If you want to do a portrait, don't have too many people though, because then you start getting boxes everywhere and you got to toggle the boxes.
I have a picture of my friend's kiddo, and it focused on his eye. And if you zoom into his eye, you can see me with the camera hovering over him. It's that sharp. It was that accurate. Yeah. So like, no, it's not blazing fast, but fast enough for like almost everything. So I don't think it's a big issue.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now let's actually talk about battery life, because the Leica battery life is going to depend a lot whether, and I did this test. If you turn off image stabilization, which I have a button configured for that, if you turn it off, your battery lasts way longer with autofocus lenses, of course. I don't know if with manual lenses, the embody image stabilization actually still active.
I turned it on for you. When I was playing with your camera, I turned it on. It works.
It works?
Yeah.
Okay, so even with manual lenses, the sensor, and probably when you punch it, maybe stabilizes the sensor to give you.
It's helpful.
So yeah, so I noticed that, for example, if I'm gonna be shooting during the day, I turn it off, because I prioritize fast shutter speed and battery life. So do that, And also, if you're gonna be using the EBF, for example, like in bright days, I just turn off the screen too. And that way, the battery could last me a whole day by doing so. Now, if you're one of those that leave the camera on, yes, no. Now, speaking about camera on, there is something that I don't like about the new SL3, which I didn't mind in the SL2, is that rocker on and switch that now is gone. There are a lot of times that I press that thing, is it on? Is it booting from battery removal, or is it in sleeping mode? And sometimes it's like, or sometimes press it twice and turn it off, and the camera just needed a split second. But yeah, so once you get used to it, it's okay. But sometimes, it gives you those hiccups. However, it turns off really, really fast, the camera. Look, I'm gonna just do a quick test here. So I'm gonna turn it off. And then I'm going to turn it on. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Oh, no, it's turning off. Hold on. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so see, turning it off takes a little bit because you have to shut down the camera. I don't know why it does that. 1, 2, 3. It's pretty fast. Now, the Sony is, let's see. 1, 2, 3. See, off. See, it also takes a little to turn off. 1, 2, 3.
It's the same thing. It's like
kind of like the same, right?
I think most cameras now are computers, so I think the booting down is just turning off a whole bunch of things. Because I've also noticed that the A7CR turns on super fast, but it does take a few seconds to turn off.
Let me see if I can do both. Hold on.
Oh, I can do one if you want.
All right. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
You gotta turn that off though, because it's on standby.
Yeah, it's not a hard turn off, but let's actually do it.
Yeah.
So if you remove the battery, now it's completely off. So go 1, 2, 3. Oh.
Did you turn it on? Oh, there you go. Okay.
So from fully off, it takes a couple of seconds. Let's do it again.
But the standby mode, like you're not gonna turn it off all the time. I mean.
No. In the standby mode, it actually doesn't consume any battery. So I understand. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I took the battery out. Wait a second. How did it do that fast?
It makes no sense.
Battery out, battery in. And now we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, this time it took a little bit longer.
There we go.
You know what? I think when you put the battery, it kind of turns on automatically.
No. Well, watch. Let's do a battery pull on both. Hold on.
This is the stupid things we do live with no script.
This is.
But I mean, hey, come on. Now you can see it. We're doing it so you don't have to.
Battery pull. All right.
Okay.
I already popped it back in.
Pop it. Okay. So wait a second. I think the camera may be turning on its own. Let's just give it a couple of seconds. Maybe internally turn it on so it kind of like sits in standby. Okay. Now let's pretend that it was on. Okay. 1, 2, go. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You pop the battery and it boots without telling you.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, it's doing something.
Oh man, I just discovered that now. So yeah, the turn on is super, and Sony could be doing the same thing. You know, I doubt it's a hard shut off. You know, I doubt it.
I mean,
It has to be, because you know what? It happens sometimes if I don't use the camera for many weeks or months, the battery degrades.
Yeah.
So there's gotta,
There's some type of
it
power
has to
being
be,
pulled,
yeah. So probably it's doing it the same way. And as you see, if you pop the battery and let the camera kind of like sit there, it will turn on its own anyway. So I think the startup time is under a second. Yeah, so.
So to wrap up thoughts.
Wait a second, why I mentioned that?
Okay, yeah.
Because when I shoot with my M, it's a 5-second wait. And dude, I lose a lot of shots if I turn.
And it has less tech.
It has less tech.
No IBIS. It doesn't have all
And
this
it's awesome.
technology. Yeah.
And it's more expensive than these.
Yeah. Well, this has a newer processor.
Yeah, you're right. The Maestro 4
Yeah.
versus Maestro 3.
Yep.
Okay, so what else? Ping. I think it needs to boot internally. Yes, there you go. Yeah. So Ping G is saying, I think it needs to boot internally because you can switch it on the. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Also, that's another cool thing, dude. So like with the Leica Photos app, you can turn the camera on remotely to transfer photos.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So like I had
with
the
camera.
Sony
too.
Oh, you can?
With the Sony 2, I think there's an option there
okay.
too.
Because I had the camera in my bag the other day, and I was just turning on the camera, transferring photos without ever pulling the camera out of my bag. That was really cool.
Yeah. All right. So what else, guys? Do you have any question at that point? How long have you been streaming for?
I don't even know.
I don't know, man.
This is new to me. I don't know how to read
Oh,
this.
40 minutes. So 40 minutes ago.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's make it an hour, maybe.
Yeah. Any questions? Shoot them our way.
So let's talk about some other thing that I want to talk about and why the SL3. My preferred camera is the M, right? Can I get my M11 monochrome there?
Yes, you can.
So this is what I like, you know. I think it's the utmost simplicity, obviously always having fingerprints everywhere. But this is the utmost simplicity for me when it comes to photography, reduced to its bare minimum, you know, manual focus, no IBIS, couple of buttons, and call it a day. So because I like this, when I move to a Sony, it's kind of like
jarring,
frightening again. But I mean, I shot with Sony for many times, but you get so used to simplicity. It's a lot easier to get used to simplicity than complexity. So, and it's also a lot easier to kind of like forget about how complicated things can be. Like for example, one of the cameras that I love using, I just don't like it to configure it. It's a new Fuji X-E5. I got that camera because I'm like, let me give it a try. And I really like that camera. APS-C is what, you know, it's awesome and everything. But the menus, oh my God, configuring a Fuji is, to me.
And the buttons are so small.
Oh man. But the image quality is awesome. And the lenses are really good. I got the 28mm equivalent, whatever that is, pancake. Really awesome. So once again, from here to here, even though there are two different systems and sometimes I have autofocus, the simplicity and ease of use is awesome. And that pretty much wraps it up for me. Leica SL3 all day long, every day before the Sony A7CR. Now, when it comes to technology, no doubt, guys. You know, the Sony A7CR, in my opinion, has tons of technology. I think it's going to take Leica many, many years to catch up to the Sony A7CR in terms of, you know, everything they offer with an active image stabilization, with a state-of-the-art autofocus, you know, Leica focuses more on photography, and I think in the simplicity of it.
I mean, I think, look, the reality is, technology-wise, there's no argument that Sony's better, but Leica really kind of sells you on the user experience.
Yeah.
And there's also this one thing that, you know, we haven't talked about, and I think it's super important, and this applies to, like, not just cameras, it applies to, like, a lot of things. The Leica camera, for whatever reason,
I know what you're going to say.
Inspires you.
There you go.
And when you're inspired, you're more than likely to take your camera with you everywhere. And that is just a fact. So, you know, people like, look, the reality is you're not going to be a better photographer with a Leica. You're not going to get photos that are drastically different with a Leica. But I guarantee you're more likely to have your camera on you almost every day because you're inspired by it, because you enjoy it. And for that reason alone, you're going to get more photos than you normally wouldn't get with a Sony, a Fuji, or whatever that is. So it's a combination of the design, a combination of the lenses, a combination of the feel a Leica camera just inspires
Yeah.
you to take photos.
Yeah.
And that's not a spec you can calculate, you can count, you can compare. It's just something about it, and it's special. And there's a reason why people shoot Leica.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you another thing. For me, is the lack of all that technology that puts me more present in the moment. And I don't want to sound cliche like, you know, all this thing that people say, oh, it helped me slow down. You can slow down with a Sony A7CR. Come on, whoever, you know, come on, bro, slow down. You have a Sony A7CR with an A12, I can slow down too. To me, it's not that I can slow down, but it is, or maybe it's related to slow down. It is the fact that all of a sudden, I cannot move too much because then I'm gonna get blurry photos. Oh, is my shutter speed fast enough? So, you're very mindful of the camera and the moment, which it could be kind of like a double-edged, sword, because sometimes at the beginning, and I do remember when I first started shooting, exclusively with the M digital, kind of like pulling focus on time, the moment is gone, right? But once you get to know the camera, once you can leverage the different ways that you can focus. So for me, give me manual lenses and zone focus any day before I take the fastest autofocus out there for street photography. Because I think that even with your beloved Sony A2, which I love that camera, by the way, and I don't own it, I don't think the camera will know if I mean that guy or the guy right next to it when it comes to the autofocus. And I know that if I zone focus, I can get the camera focus exactly where I want to, because I go F11, and gauge the distance, and I know that shot, there's no way that I can ruin it. Whereas with autofocus in the Sony A7CR, I still get, I don't mean to focus on that, and sometimes it picks different things.
I mean, I think part of that is like knowing what focusing feature to be on. So
that's true.
If
you're
get,
center, yeah. If you're in center
I
frame,
get your point, but so I have my my C1 button function here to turn off the auto detect. So for example, when I press this button, it'll turn off like the people detect and face detect. So it's only a single point.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm able to nail focus on whatever I want fairly quickly. So look, I personally am in the camp where like I love Leica and I love everything about Leica. I would rather have an autofocus camera. That's just a fact.
You're going to jail, bro. You're going to jail. Bro.
Even with the Leica Q though, like the Leica Q, if you know how to use the autofocus settings, like the Leica Q343 is my favorite Leica of all time. I've taken it all over the world. I've always nailed the shot I wanted. I haven't missed focus with that camera, and it's just a matter of knowing what setting to use. So to me, like the Leica Q343, the Q328, even the SL, those are like the Leicas for me because I do want autofocus. And it gives me the user experience. It gives me everything that Leica has to offer, but also gives me autofocus.
Yeah, no, and one of the things that I like about the Leica Q3, that Leica has executed that camera so well. No one has been able to kind of like replicate it, not even close. It's the fact that I can use a Leica Q3 with autofocus and even use, and I said in some of the videos, and use if I want like an M, I just declutch the autofocus tab, and that lens behaves like a manual lens, Sublux, for example. Has an aperture ring, has a focusing tab, it has a proper distance scale, and the distance scales on the 43 has more range than the one on the 28, because I think the 28 goes up to 2 meters and then infinity. Whereas with the Q3 43, I think you have 5 meters and then infinity, so you have a wide range to zone focus. Usually I'm around like between 1 meter and 3 meters when I use that camera, and I really like that. But what were you gonna say?
If Leica could turn this M lens into an autofocus lens like this for the SL line, I would sell everything in a heartbeat and go full SL.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they're working on something like that, because like what Sigma is doing here is really cool. Like I said, it's a Sigmacron, but if Leica can do this,
the Sigmacron,
I mean, you would I think, get the best of all worlds.
Yes, and I think that if Leica watches these type of videos, I think they should listen to users, because one of the things that I prefer, and I know that there are a lot of photographers, smaller lenses, and there are a lot of companies producing small lenses. Why Sigma can produce a smaller lens and Leica cannot. I don't know why Sigma will give me a Sigmacron instead of like Leica giving me a Summicron with this thing, right? And obviously, when you see the design optical formula of Lumix and you see the Leica ones, you see that it's the same optical formula. So maybe, I know that Leica actually partners with Sigma for some of the zoom lenses, maybe partner with Sigma for the autofocus lenses, you know? But keeping the same price as Sigma though.
That'd be possible,
Don't go like 5 folds, you know?
There's a question that says, does the SL3 reporter color actually add to the enjoyment of using the camera? How so? It's like everything. It's like a car, it's like the color of shirt you pick.
Oh, there's something that the reporter does, man, that is actually a feature.
What's that?
All right, I gotta tell you this. So first of all, both of us were in Florida. Go outside, it doesn't matter if it's winter, you're gonna sweat like crazy. Now, any of these cameras, this is plastic. Right? This is plastic and it gets slippery really easy. Now this material, whatever the name of this material is on the reporter, yes, it will get nasty over time, but man, the grip is like sandpaper without the grit. You know, it's really abrasive, but gentle at the same time. So I love that stuff. And I know that over time we use gets ruined, whatever, send it to Leica, they'll replace it or put whatever you want. But man, it does feel so good. And when you clamp it, it just, look, grab it. I mean, it just locks in your hand, man.
And look, a comment already said this.
And look at this.
I think it's Mark that said this. This camera just looks cool as hell. Look at this. Like, does it add to the enjoyment? Absolutely. Like, you want to be carrying this camera. Like, this inspires you to take it out. Like, this is one of the nicest cameras I've ever seen. Like, this green with the black. This is gorgeous. So yeah, it adds to the enjoyment.
For people that are not into photography, rabbit hole, and things like that, may not be important. But for those that are into cars, you know, there are certain cars that make you drive them, even though it may not be the latest model or you know whatever the case may be. So I think with cameras, it's the same thing. It gets to a point that you connect with a gear, man. And people that say gear doesn't matter, yeah, I get it, gear doesn't matter. It sounds good to say that and all that stuff, especially when, you know, when you're limited with the options. But man, to me, gear does matter,
Big
man.
Time.
To me, it does matter a lot.
I've used this analogy before in my channel, and you know, people might agree or disagree with it, but I feel like Sony is the Tesla of the world. All the latest technology thrown in there, but you know, electric car, you don't get the enjoyment. I feel like Leica's like the Porsche. You hear the engine, it's a driver's car, like it's meant for the driver, not the craziest specs. And I think that's a good analogy with both of them.
Well, I actually, you're right, because I drive an electric car. I have a combustion car, but I drive an electric car. And I'm going to tell you why I drive an electric car. I hate to drive. I don't like to drive. I don't care about the driving. So the electric car does everything for me. Kind of like a photographer that is, take picture here and there, or whatever.
Kind of like, I don't like manual focus.
Yeah, I don't want to manual focus. I mean, I don't blame. My mom doesn't like to manual focus. She gets the phone and she fires a picture like a champ. We'll never shoot with a Leica, but she's not into artistic photography, and I'm not into driving. Honestly, cars are not my thing, man. I just, you know, the Tesla. You know, I could close my eye and goes, man. Yes, I have a Tesla, guys. So drop your sarcastic comments down below.
A Tesla.
The Tesla. Yeah. Oh, bro. Yeah. So where's the question? But what about if you use the tapes that you get on the internet?
And tape your Sony. Does it motivate you to enjoy Sony more?
No, man. Hey, listen. Yeah, probably. I don't know. Put skateboarding tape on the camera.
I will say, like, I do enjoy using my A7CR. I do take it with me everywhere. And here's the one thing I enjoy about it a lot. You ready?
Go for it, man.
I enjoy nailing the shot. So I enjoy being able to just quickly boop, get the shot, move on. I also enjoy, because look.
I enjoy nailing the shot too with this M11 monochrome, bro.
And here's where I might be a little different than Gaston. Because if you go to Gaston's like Instagram, you look at his work, I think he has 0 pictures of himself.
Never.
Yeah, I like pictures of me. So with the Sony, I'm able to give it to my girlfriend, take a picture, easy, done, get the shot. I can't do that with a Leica.
Why? You're in focus, bro. Look at your eye.
Look at that.
He's in focus, bro. I mean, he complains, block your eye.
You're a photographer that does this for a living.
and focus, man. And you know what I did? I actually popped the lens.
I saw that, yeah.
So I threw a trick at you. So one thing, guys, if you actually release the, and I do this a lot, because right now this one's 0.7, I'm closer. So I release the lens slightly, and you kind of like bounce it, not like that, but a couple millimeters, you actually achieve close focus.
I'm gonna butcher your name, but Samaj said that the green might be distracting. The reason most cameras are black. I prefer silver cameras, and I think also like the reality is like this is way off subject, but people say that black cameras are more discreet. That's a bunch of BS. Like, look, I'm 6'4". If I have this camera or this camera, I'm not discreet. I'm a giant with a camera.
With a 200 or 600 like this.
Like, I mean, so this whole thing, a black camera is discreet. Like, get out of here. Like it's not.
No, it is. It is, and I'm gonna show you why.
Oh my God, get out of
here. It is.
No,
look.
Bunch of BS. I call
no,
BS
no. That for sure, man. I'm telling you, I've seen the response of people. Like when you're like that, and you go ask someone, like, boom, all the shine. But when you go like this, you know, look at that. I'm wearing black, and I go like.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, come on, man.
I don't want to get up and show you the size difference.
And I even dress black.
When you have a giant, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing.
Yeah. That's right. That's right, Alex.
I mean,
that's right.
It's like, why is this dude taking a picture?
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that black cameras matter because I dress in black. When I'm on the street, I'm black. Yeah, I'm like a ninja, bro. I like that. I like to be the ninja on the street taking photos of people. But anyway, we are now about, time to wrap it up, man. Time to wrap it up. We're running out of subjects. Closing notes. Okay, if you have to pick a camera, which one would that be?
I mean, if I had to just pick one camera.
Video and photo.
It's the Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I know I'm going to Leica jail for this, but I would also pick the Sony, man. If I have to pick only one camera, and that's the camera for my photo, my camera for my video, it has to be the Sony. I could film myself like I'm doing right now with another Sony. The FX3 is filming us right now. And I can't do that with a Leica. You know, I would have to put a monitor and you know, and I don't like that. You know, I like a simplistic setup. I have a pretty simple setup here at home. 2 DJI microphones with the logo actually covered with this thing. So if you don't want to advertise them, this thing here works. And then we have the FX3 right there with the DJI
hot shoe adapter
transmitter
too,
that connects with already in the hot shoe. So
cables.
There's no cable. And I have it right over here, overhead. I'll show you guys. No, I'm not going to show you.
Yeah.
So I have a Sony A7, what is this one? The ZV-E10 APS-C, amazing with a, that's it, and 2 little lights. That's all. That's all.
But you said for photo and video, right? If I was just picking a camera for photo, one camera for photo,
no.
that would make me happy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for photo, and that's the fact. You know, for video, I have dedicated video cameras. You know, and the FX3 is the one that I love. Now I like the now I got the FX2, which, by the way, a lot of people hate on that camera. I read some comments, but outside you put the shook in the eye.
Yeah, it's good.
Low angle, high angle, perfect. Love the FX2. Probably I'm gonna do a video about the Sony FX2, and that's it. But photo, yes, baby, this is the one.
I would say the last 5 years of documenting my, my trips, my life. The last 5 years of photos that I've printed in the house, have all been shot with Leica.
Good,
so, have I used Sony for work and for YouTube? Absolutely. But like for the photos that really matter to me, the memories that are going to last a lifetime, have all been shot with Leica.
There you go, bro.
So
I think that's a coincidence, but or maybe not. Maybe you got that.
It's intentional. Yeah, it's intentional.
Maybe, yeah. So yeah, and I actually also shoot with a phone too. I mean, this new phone. I mean, man, it's scary where things are going. The iPhone 17, even the 16 is just ridiculous.
Or the iPhone Air.
The iPhone Air, see, you trade thing for more performance.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so drop more comments. I don't know if this chat is going to populate because we're going to archive this live so you can watch it later, but drop your comments down below. I check the comments all the time. I am going to...
Come on, Rick. We said nothing but good things about Sony. We're not convincing anybody.
Who's that?
Rick said that we're trying to convince ourselves that the more expensive camera is better.
We just said that if we have to pick one, we pick the Sony. Come on, Rick. I don't think we're trying to convince anybody.
Rewind.
Yeah, rewind the live.
Rewind the tape.
Me, like a head, saying that if I have to pick one camera and I don't own anything, that would be the Sony for me. Gotta say that, because I can do both amazingly well with both cameras. Cannot do the same thing with the Leica, as it favors photo over some of the features that I would want for video. But go and follow Alex Barreras right here in YouTube at Alex Barrera Photo, right?
It's just Alex Barrera on YouTube.
Alex Barrera. So the only Alex Barrera on YouTube. On Instagram,
Barrera Photo.
Barrera Photo. And go follow Gaston Shutters on Instagram and Threads, Crown OWLKROWN. By the way, let me show you. I gotta do this.
This is sick, by the way.
I gotta show the new strap design from today. Is this 1-inch strap, and I called her Elliot. It's a long story why the name of Elliot. But yeah, this one's gonna be dropping on the side. But if you want to check out any of the products on the side, hot grips, caps, and all the things we have, all the straps, G Shutters 10, or what's your code?
Barrera Photo 10.
Barrera Photo 10. We also put some food on his table. Use his code as well. Barrera Photo 10. Yeah, use his code. Don't use mine. Use Barrera Photo 10.
And this strap is, it's soft leather. It smells like have you ever like walked into like a boot store? Yeah. So it's like a high quality leather, and it's soft. Yeah, this strap's sick.
Italian leather. By the way, this one is Italian leather. Yeah. Sick. Actually, we're working with an additional supplier that I went to visit in New York, showed me all the Italian leathers. I'm like, I want that leather. I want to make a strap. Yeah. So arrived today, make this one. You guys will see the strap. But guys, we're out to maybe have a couple of drinks, and that's it.